And we're live.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yo, Dio.
Welcome to the next episode. What episode is this?
Well, it's the fourth episode of the character expression sheet. I don't know.
So
I think this is the eighth one.
No, wait. So we got Link. We got fours of Skullman.
It'll be ninth. Yeah. Four Skullman, 4 drawing, and Link. So that's 9. This will be the 9th.
By the time this comes out, guys, it'll definitely be the 9th episode right here because of like how we're doing with our uploading schedule. But yeah, like it's gonna be our 9th episode.
Yeah.
So everybody, last time we left off with the 25 Essential Expressions Challenge. Alex here decided to blow my mind with the last 3 drawings that he made.
We'll go back to the recap from the beginning just to assess ourselves because it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, definitely.
Casual, happy, Phineas Dead Perry, Please Girl, Angry Gumball, Confused Jackie Chan, Tired Stanley, Surprise Poopy Butthole, Irritated Pichu.
Pichu, kind of plus or minus, yeah.
WTF Afro-ish guy. Smug Face Triumph, almost the meme, couldn't quite pull it together.
Fearful, High Five Ghost.
Bereft, Odd Ones Out, Flirty Johnny Bravo, Serious SpongeBob, Silly Tom and Jerry, Hollow Blank Office Guy, Incredulous a Girl, Confident Flash.
Oh, yes.
Fierce, Totally Spies.
Sam, yeah, wait, I can't see. Is that Sam, right? Fierce Sam from Totally Spies.
Yeah, Fierce Sam from Totally Spies. Pouty girl from Gosick, whose name I totally forget. Drunk Shundi, because we couldn't remember his name, so we had to write it down.
Again, we keep trying to remember like who he was. We thought he was Bo Raicho or that other guy from Tekken. And
then Rage, Fury, Irritation, Humiliation, Squidward.
Yes.
From the Cuddly Crab episode. And then Sarcastic Uzaki-chan. From Uzaki-chan Wants to Hang Out.
Again, that really, really impressed me. So now we are to our last 2 parts.
I know.
For Alex.
Jordan talked up my last 3 drawings so much it was like, oh man, you really got to bring it for the final 2, and I'm like, oh man,
I did. And the thing was,
quit challenging me.
Well, it's not because I don't. It's not because they don't think he can challenge himself. It's just like each drawing that I've seen as the episodes go on progressively got better and better as we go.
So because of that, I've had to be a cheater. I found basically I'm gonna draw two screenshots from shows that I enjoy, and it's moments in these shows that kind of capture disgusted and ill.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna make a halftime adjustment to ill. It's not gonna be. Wait, I have to. Not object mode.
Right,
Get out of camera.
Honestly, again,
stroke,
I'm not upset, man. I mean, considering that I use references as for my drawings in pixel art, and then now you're using it, that's cool. Because, like, I mean, there's no shame in trying to do it.
This is no longer a nauseous ill. This is a
disgust,
deathly ill.
Uh-oh.
Like from fatigue.
What?
From fatigue.
Oh, okay.
Oh crap!
So
and I gotta spell fatigue. F-U-T-I-G.
Don't worry, John. Don't worry, Alex. Your spelling will be put all over the internet. So in case you don't know how to spell,
fatigue. He is fatigue.
He's fatigue.
We'll get to that later. So basically, I picked out these screenshots. I set them in the background and just kind of scaled down to fit the boxes, and then I drew in, the circles and the crosshair for the head and face, so that I could have these scaled properly. Because like these are 16:9 images that I'm trying to cram into a square, and
yeah,
like I want these things to come in the right perspective. And this plan could fail wildly.
Oh, of course.
And not work at all. But
well, technically, I mean, you don't have to worry about like trying to fail. You just do it the best you can. I mean, like I said, like when I was drawing my drawing during the last couple episodes, like I was wanting the look of Skullman, but I didn't want to capture the entirety, like copy and paste kind of look.
You did. You took some good artistic liberties there that were very interesting to see.
Yeah, and I honestly wish I could have created something like that without that kind of help. But I'm not saying freelance drawing, but like drawing from an own creative perspective is just really difficult in my opinion. Like just trying to create something that is like completely new. That doesn't mean people can't do it. I'm just saying like I in particular have kind of an issue with it.
No,
it's kind of difficult.
Okay, you know what? It's just going to be there in the bottom. Trying to line up my reference.
Right.
Another thing I did in preparation for this was I hand drew these scenes.
Oh yeah,
just traced to
get some muscle memory.
To get a little bit of muscle memory and feel. And I have. Oh my God, I'm nervous.
Oh, don't worry, man. Come on, man.
One slick tool of the program we're using is this is on these reference circles are on frame 2. So basically we'll draw on top of them and then go back and erase them on the second frame. So all we'll have is the original drawing left.
They're getting Thanos snapped.
That way they don't get away. I've shrunk my pen size if you want a before and after comparison.
I mean, give a good reference.
Because I did. I also tried pre-drawings on here and I was like, okay, these face details are going to get kind of tight.
Right.
So.
No, that's fine.
Here we go.
Sorry, I don't mean to put pressure on you.
Oh man, no, it's fun. It's a good time. Let's see.
So if we're starting off with Disgust, like what did you have in mind?
I picked a very enjoyable scene. Disgust was hard because it took me a second to kind of figure out what was disgusting. Like there wasn't as much reference available as I thought there would be.
Right.
And so I basically kind of poured back through moments I thought disgust might have showed up and really kind of went through a Disney catalog of movies. Both of these scenes will be from Disney.
Right. Because Disney is very expressive, like in terms of animation.
They do. They have some really cool moments. And one of the things I wound up pulling out of my memory was a fun moment from Lilo and Stitch. And this is the scene where they went to go pick out Stitch because Nani was like, "Oh, Lilo's not well adjusted. Let's get her a dog."
Yeah.
Maybe this will work out. And they go to the animal shelter, and Stitch was brought in the night before because he crashed his ship, and then he got run over by a truck. Oh. And some people found him and dragged him to the shelter. And so, Lilo's going through the back, and there's no dogs in the cages because they're all pinned to the back wall because they're terrified of Stitch. Yeah. And he runs out and, greets her and pretends to be a dog.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, you're perfect." And
I want you.
Runs out, and the clerk at the shelter is like, "Oh, man. Yeah, we have tons of great dogs here, except that one. What is it? Yeah, and they're like, a dog, I think. It was dead this morning. It got hit by a truck.
I'm pretty.
And he's like, Stitch is like all snarling and just being as much of an animal as possible. And Lilo's like, I like him, and Nani's like holding him back, going, "Are you sure you got to have this dog?"
Yes.
So that's
yes. I mean, how do you think the adventure is going to start?
This is the scene is Nani looking at Stitch with just a ugh. I
I mean, that movie, honestly, it's very, I don't know how I would say it. It's memorable and at the same time, it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's forgettable. I don't know how it's, because there's always like certain movies with Disney that are just so memorable to a point where like people are like, oh my God, I remember this so much, like when I watched it. And Lilo and Stitch, while it is up there, at the same time, I'm not really sure how I feel about it. I like the series, or I like the movie, but it's okay. I'm gonna get some hate for that, aren't I?
No, I mean it's all preference, and there's no, everyone's got the movies that they like and don't like. This was just one I remember spending a lot of car rides.
True.
Watching.
If there was one movie that I've had so much like memorable moments with, it's definitely, and I'm pretty sure everybody can agree. Well, a lot of people, but it's definitely Toy Story.
Yep.
Like Toy Story.
I didn't watch as much Toy Story, I think, as other people did. Like I watched the first one several times, but the second couple, not as many.
Honestly, I don't know which one I like more, the first one or the second one. Both the movies are just funny.
The second one was with Jesse, right?
Yes, Jesse, Bullseye, and the Prospector, with Woody being...
Yeah, and the Prospector kidnapped. Was all self-sabotaging.
He was just trying to get everybody held together. Because, like, alone...
Because he wanted to be in a collection.
Yeah.
I remember that.
But I think it was funny because that, like... The first one is so hilarious because of how jealous Woody is of Buzz, and like how Andy's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna love Buzz more than Woody," like, and I'm like, I think he's more important. But then, like, obviously during that time, like Woody or Buzz gets lost, and then they got taken to that pizza arcade place, and then they fought each other. Not fought each other then, but like
they had a little tussle.
Yeah, and then, like Buzz is still so convinced that he's actually the real Buzz Lightyear. Yeah,
I remember they had to kind of break him out of that.
Yeah, because Buzz was always acting like, oh, like I'm the actual Buzz Lightyear, and like just trying to be.
Kept calling Star Command on his comlink
and using his laser,
that
thinking he could fly.
You are a toy moment.
I just loved Woody just like yelling and screaming, "You are a toy!" Just something like Tom Hanks really just delivers that line. It's funny as hell.
It's pretty iconic, yeah.
And then, I mean, just Tom Hanks is just hilarious and like as Woody, just him just being Woody just is so good. And then Tim Allen as Buzz, like he's good too.
You are a sad, strange little man.
You're mocking me, aren't you? Buzz, look at alien!
Oh yeah.
Oh, just him just being a total douche to Buzz is just funny.
Driving the pizza truck around town. that kid Andy, the one that would firecracker all the toys and like.
No, that's not Andy. That's Sid.
Or not Andy. Sid. Yeah, and would rip off the head.
Oh my god!
Amalgamations.
Oh my god! So
it was like that kid like scared
that part
me when I was
was
little.
So like obviously like I look at it now and it's funny. Well, kind of funny, but I think it's kind of like weird. But when I was a kid, that was really strange, man. Like, just...
I didn't like it at all.
I didn't either. It was weird.
Scene bothered me.
Yeah, it did. And then, like, when he was just being all scary and shit, he's just like, that's right, Sid, Philip, and then just him just reminiscing about how he treats their toys, or his toys, or his sister's toys.
Yeah,
and then like he did the whole head spin thing, and when he's like, "We toys can see everything,"
yeah,
just shit like that. I'm like, Jesus, this is for kids. Like, I get it. Pixar movies have like these really dark moments or weird, like really creepy moments. The same thing happened with Toy Story 2. Where Woody, he got his arm got kind of ripped, and like the stitching was showing because Andy
played with him
too much, and then like they put him on the shelf, and then like Andy was going to like
he got sold at the garage sale.
Well, the thing was like no. Before that, like Woody was just really depressed that he was on the shelf. Because, like, usually the shelf is reserved for, I guess, debunked toys or something like that.
Yeah, like you were about to get fired if you made it to the shelf.
Yeah. And the thing was that...
That is not what I told you to do.
The thing was that in Toy Story 2, like, Woody, it's like a dream, kind of. And, like, Woody was up on the shelf, and, like, Andy reached out for him, and he's like, "Oh, let's play, Woody." And then Andy's like, "Oh, like in this monotone voice." It was like, I was like, "What?" Like he was like, "Oh, I forgot. You're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore." And then,
and then it's all like zoomed out with him falling into the trash
into a pile of cards or something, and it's just kind of this weird fever dream. And then he falls into the trash can, and then like Woody's like, "Ah, ah." And then it's just this pile of arms and stuff, and then like Woody's like, he's like, "No, Andy, no!" He's just really like, he's like, "Don't forget about me." And then, like, Andy was going to put the lid on the trash can. He's like, "Bye, Woody." And then, like, "No, Andy!" It's just shit like that. Like, Jesus, man. Like, come on. This is for kids.
Did it ever make you, like, feel bad about how you had treated your toys?
Oh, definitely. And I felt really bad as a kid when I did.
You, like, went back and, like, immediately dug them out under your bed and were like, "I'm going to save you all." You're all conscious, and you're gonna attack me if I don't play with you.
You're all special to me. But yeah, I did feel bad when I accidentally like broke one of my toys or something like that.
Oh yeah, that was always a bad time.
Yeah, like and then like I don't know what's with Pixar movies that like really pinged my interest. I guess it was just like the whole 3D animation thing. Like
it was really new and impressive
at the time.
Toy Story was. Well, Toy Story was the first CGI movie.
No, I don't think that was true.
Not like the first to use it, but the first. It was the first complete CGI.
No, I think it was Bug's Life.
Oh snap! Was Bug's Life first?
Yeah, I think Bug's Life was first.
I thought Bug's Life only had partial rendering though.
Maybe.
I can't remember.
We'll have to check back.
It's because it's only because I've seen the whole documentary of Toy Story.
Oh, okay.
Of the making of, and they showed like here's like the room, and there was like 20 computers stacked in this room, all rendering a scene at a time, and it took like 2 weeks to finish.
Sounds awful.
Like doing the entire movie, but it sounds awful, but it was still like 100 times faster than drawing each cell.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean that would have taken
doing it old school style like the Jungle Book.
Yeah. Then yeah, like obviously we watched Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo was always a classic. Like it's a classic Pixar movie.
I think Finding Nemo is the memory is like the movie I probably have memorized.
Yeah.
Like if you drop me into a Finding Nemo scene, I could probably quote my way through it.
I mean, obviously it had like a tragic story in the beginning, where Coral and Marlin were obviously going to be parents, and then
she got ate by the barracuda.
I was like, "Jeez, man! Like I feel bad." She got eaten, and then all the other eggs were
still there.
No, they were eaten too.
Or yeah, it was just Nemo that was there, and his egg was like cracked.
Yeah,
that's why he had the weird fin.
And then Marlin later on became a helicopter papa. Like just making sure Nemo didn't get in any trouble. And obviously he did.
He got in all the trouble. He touched the butt.
He touched the butt.
You can't get in more trouble than touching the butt.
Yeah, because I mean, then giant sea divers decide to kidnap you. What is an underwater Amber Alert? Please tell me. I must know. But yeah, like, and then like obviously Marlon met Dory. Just her dynamic was always just very confusing to me. Other than just being. Okay.
Funny side confession.
Yeah.
I thought Dory was a guy.
Oh,
for the longest time.
Honestly,
because like at the age that we watched that show,
yeah,
everyone was high pitched squeaky kid, and so I was just like, oh, other high pitched squeaky kid. Hi.
No,
I thought that Dory was also a dude.
Funny thing you say that actually. I'm gonna branch off. I'll branch off at a later date in this conversation, but I was gonna say something about more so to anime than I was gonna say about actual voice acting for movies. But I will get to that after I'm talking about like some of the Pixar stuff. So yeah, like Marlon and Dory are having this quote unquote adventure to try and find Nemo, just going through other ways of doing things.
He's looking for his son Fabio.
And then like honestly, I don't know what's the most memorable part of the
just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
I'm torn between just keep swimming and the shark bait initiation in the fish tank. And he swam through the ring of fire.
The ring of fire. And then like I love when they realize that the tank is clean.
That was a good one.
The tank is clean. The tank is clean. Just how surprised he was.
Could not believe it.
But also
Stitch has fat fingers, man.
Yes, he does.
They do. They're blocky, and there's only 3 of them, so you make them even blockier.
He just looks like a rabbit when he.
Is it with his ears down?
Yes. I don't know. Just so many things look like rabbits, like when they have their ears down.
That's like the thing. Like rabbits have big floppy ears.
Yeah. And anyways, back to what I was saying. So yeah, like that whole thing about finding Nemo was just like Dory and Marlon going on adventurous parts. Finding the goggles for the location, and then finally finding the anglerfish, and then you have the jellyfish, the whole whole race thing with Dory and Marlon, and then we have the sea turtles,
dude.
The sea turtles. Oh wait, when was the shark? The shark was when
the shark was introduced in the submarine scene. When they went into the trench.
Wait, they saw the shark first. I remember.
Yeah.
It was the sharks, then it was the...
Yeah, because he turns around and Bruce has this massive grin on his face. Hello.
just...
You're just like, oh my god, now I'm scared of sharks forever.
I mean, Bruce just looked fucking huge in that movie.
Oh yeah, perfect bad guy. Giant shark.
I mean, he wasn't a bad guy.
And then, because he was a reformed shark.
He was a reformed shark. He went to therapy with the Mako and Hammerhead.
Oh my god, that movie had so many things going on.
I mean, it really showed.
It was so well layered.
It showed a lot of like the sea life in the series. Like you got the sharks, then you got the jellyfish. The school of tuna.
Yeah, every time I ever went fishing afterwards, I always had to cut a line because I couldn't get the hook out. Always thought of the one shark with the hook with the hook ring sticking out of his nose.
The Mako shark.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, here you go. You got a lip ring now.
Here you go.
You're gonna be a cool fish when you get back.
Yeah, exactly. But so yeah,
the pelicans. Oh god, the pelicans!
That's a pelican. And then like you saw just Nigel, not Nigel, but the other guy that tried to eat both of them.
Jerry.
Jerry.
Hey,
and then he's like...
Sun's up and Jerry's already choking on something.
And Marlon's like, I did not come all this way to make breakfast.
Reckon somebody ought to help him, right? Oh, yeah, right.
I love how nobody
no one
helped
moves.
him. All right, Jerry, what did you swallow this time?
Fish got your tongue?
Fish got your tongue.
They're all hanging on it.
Love a duck. I have to find my son Nemo.
Oh man, the whole
And then the worst part is like when Nigel was trying to help them, and then both of them went trying to get away from them, and then they saw him, and then like one of the seagulls just shat down, and then they're all looking at him.
Yeah, nobody move.
Just get in my mouth if you want to live. He's kind of small. He's got a small fin. That's Nemo! And then just all of the not pelicans, all of the seagulls just started to attack. Just be like, mine.
Dang, Dory had one of the most iconic screams.
It sounded like Mrs. Puff.
It was one of them. Yes. Oh man. Okay. Now we got to put in like a side by side of Dory's scream versus the Puff scream.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
Those are very similar.
Yeah. I don't know who does the VA for Puff, but I do like voice actors in certain series, whether it be like from SpongeBob or like other kind of movies.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, like after all that, like just
there we go. We're up to
it was a very heartwarming way to finish off that movie. As for one of the most like rewatched movie that I really liked and from Pixar was The Incredibles. I really love The Incredibles. I don't know why.
I recently went back and watched them. That was a pretty complete movie.
It was very. You know what was weird? I thought like when I look back at it, and I think that it's a kids movie, obviously for Pixar. But if you think about it, there are so many underlying tones of being an adult movie. I'm not saying like.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because it was a whole parenting element.
Yeah, well, it also had to do with like the economy, like how superheroes
were getting treated.
Yeah, like how they can't do any more superheroing, and nobody wants any more superheroes anymore because of like all the accidents that's been happening. And then they're like, and then in the beginning they're like, where are they now? They walk among us and. Just
average humans doing average things.
And then it just cuts to Bob being part of a what was his job?
Insuricom. He was an insurance claims adjuster.
Oh my god. That's actually my mom does that
and
actually.
That poor old lady. Just trying to help. That's one of my favorite scenes of just any Disney movie.
What just heard
is Bob and the old lady.
Yeah,
and he can't fit in that cubicle to save his life.
Oh, I mean he's huge.
And I'm sorry, ma'am. I know you're upset.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I know you're upset.
Pretend to be upset.
Pretend to be upset. And then his boss comes in.
That was a great one.
Yeah, you know what's funny? The boss is actually Rex from Toy Story. I can't remember the voice actor's name though.
Yes, he's got a very like distinct voice.
Yeah,
you can
tell. I feel bad. He's passed away though.
He's been in, oh my god, he's been in a ton of things.
He has, but I feel bad because like I said, he passed away. Rip.
Aww.
It's very sad to see someone pass away like that. I am always up to people doing like English voice acting, and it's because I want
to be a voice actor.
What?
I want to be a voice actor.
Oh, that just sounds cool. I mean, I know they don't get paid much. They really should get paid a little bit more. That's just me because I think voice actors are are just as important as other actors. Obviously, like there are differences because you don't have to move, you don't have to do anything like that.
We've had the discussion before on how difficult it is to value creativity.
Oh,
and
yes.
Put a price on it.
Of course. But I just really enjoy voice actors because it's just they okay, look. Their personalities sometimes can they be very like cross with me or something like that? Maybe. But I do like the idea of just certain voice actors and how they do their jobs. Like it's just interesting to me. But anyways, we'll come back to that. But yeah, like The Incredibles, so many other underlying tones. Like,
well, just that, the do what I say or you're fired.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a huge thing that as a kid you have no concept of.
Yeah, and you don't know like what's happening in that point.
Yeah, and the burden on the adult that it's like, oh, well, if I was just by myself as a single person, then me getting fired doesn't really matter. But since I have this whole family and we just moved, kids, and it's like I can't. I can't lose this job. Yeah, and the funny thing is that you don't really. I mean, you obviously don't really see that as a kid. You just see this guy that's just being a jerk, just trying to pull under the nose that like Bob is just kind of being manipulated. But then you look back at it and it's just like when you grow older. No, and you see like can you imagine like if Mirage IRL shows up and is like, hey, we got a job for you that you can do all the things that you think are fun and we'll pay you for it.
That just sounds too good to be true.
And you're just like, yeah, I'm gonna do that thing.
But then you also realize like as you grow, like I keep saying, as you grow older, as
a fully formed adult,
as a fully grown child,
I'm totally not 3 kids on top of each other's shoulders wearing a trench coat.
Yeah, but like you see the differences, like when you go back to the movies, like in terms of Pixar movies, with The Incredibles, there's just a lot of social backlash from the hero society, and then there's also like when you're following Bob, like you see just a lot of more so problems with his marriage, but like just issues with him and Helen, like just
and just parenting and managing,
like
being married, and
parenting's just a full-time job sometimes, like it's just really difficult. And then like you also understand that your kids also have superpowers, like Dash getting in trouble, like with the principal or the teacher.
I love that became a meme.
Oh. Wait, what was it, the meme again? I can't remember.
Coincidence? I think not.
Okay, never mind. That little rat is guilty. I thought that was so funny when he was just, he's guilty. He's guilty. No. He's just freaking out, just having a breakdown.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And then the thing was, like, with Helen, like, she was very upset with Dash and like just how he shouldn't really use his powers like that. But I mean, then obviously he wants to go into sports. But like if he does, then he could technically be cheating or something like that, you know?
Yeah. There's like a whole moral implication to it.
Yeah, but
he's like just a struggling youth that
wants he's just a kid.
He just wants to fit in and express himself. And
and then you have Violet.
If I have superpowers, why can't I use them?
Yeah. And then you have Violet, where she has problems with controlling her powers and just doesn't really know other than like, you know, the whole invisibility thing. Because like she looks like she has a grip on her powers in certain aspects, but like other times she doesn't. And you see like the struggle that she goes through. Other than, you know, just being invisible. And then, like, they go to the family. It's funny when Bob Bob was like, gets home from work, that whole skit about him just.
Oh yeah, he comes home, Dash is in trouble, and
closing the door, and then he gets so pissed
tripping
off.
on the car. Yeah.
He pissed off. He lifts the car, and then the kid sees him. just lifts it. But then the thing is that like, as you see the series goes on, like Bob just. You see him just go through a depression because he really wants to just do not saying hero work, but like he definitely wants to get back into the hero business.
He misses the glory days.
Yeah, and it's sad to see. It kind of reminds me of a midlife crisis.
It is a midlife crisis.
Yes, and it's sad to see. And the thing is, I think it's even better like when you see that obviously when Bob loses his job, like he sees someone getting mugged and he's just helpless to stop it because his boss is trying to...
When that was something he used to be able to do.
Yeah, like he had the free reins to try and save someone, like just to have them saved. Of course, I skipped over the whole thing like in the beginning where like he was having to find... Well, he was having to like save people, like he was having to like save a cat out of a tree, and then like when he got back into his vehicle, like Buddy just showed up, and
you mean Incredible?
Yeah, exactly. Buddy, fly home, buddy. I work alone, and you have to realize he was so. I'm not saying he was a complete dick right there, but he also had a point in a sense. Because Buddy didn't have any powers.
No, it was really dangerous for him to just be involving himself.
And he was just a teenager. And, like, he would have to deal with, like, terrorists and, like, gunmen and all of that stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Incredible couldn't be expected to protect him while he was trying to do his work.
And Buddy, and the thing is, Buddy, I mean, while he does have the gadgets and stuff, it doesn't mean it guarantees his safety.
No.
Like, he can still get into a point where, like, he gets injured or killed in that instance. And then, you know what the weird thing was? Like, you actually saw someone whenever, like, it was weird because at the nighttime when you saw, like, Mr. Incredible see someone almost about to jump off a building, you realize that guy was he really trying to commit suicide?
That's what he said he was doing.
I was like, I
didn't comprehend it.
Yeah,
back when it happened.
I didn't even know. I thought he was like as a kid. I thought he was skydiving.
I thought he was a daredevil.
Yeah, I thought he was just doing that. I did not know.
I didn't understand until way later when I heard the interview and he's like, "You didn't save my life. You ruined my death." And then I was like, "Oh my god!" Just stuff like that. I was like, "Holy shit!" And then you realize just how, like I said, like The Incredibles are just kind of mature in a sense. Well, Disney, that's not the first time Disney, like that part of their gig is that they were good at writing in dark adult concepts into kids shows and being able to make it entertaining for both audiences.
Right.
Because if you think about, their standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, we have our target audience is kids, but kids can't operate by themselves. So parents have to come. So what are we going to do to also entice the parent to go along with this?
Yeah, and the thing is that what you try to do in that instance is like try to create an imagery and story that could definitely like bring in kids while at the same time adults. Like, just try to bring up these concepts while it's kind of cutesy and like cartoony with the Pixar animation. Then you talk about the story and then like what goes on, and it shows in like not during the flashbacks, like during the storytelling that certain things happen and this is the way they are. Like in certain instances, like with The Incredibles, like how Hero Society was disbanded because of certain people and all that stuff, and like having the heroes take no responsibility, really,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it And I felt so bad for Bob because, like I said, he was going through a midlife crisis. Him wanting to go back into the tights and spandex and stuff, like just to relive the glory days, like
the
you
good
said.
old days.
Yeah, and it's even better when you see Frozone show up, his friend, and him just.
Say freeze one more time.
Exactly. Him being Samuel L. Jackson is just the icing on the cake. And like them trying to fake out Helen and the kids and say like, oh, we're going to go bowling. But instead they go on a night patrol to save people from a fiery building.
What if one night we just actually go bowling?
I love that part. And then like Bob trying to hide like the evidence of him being...
It was just a little workout.
Just a little workout.
Just stay loose.
And then she was like, is this rubble?
It was a fire. The building was coming down anyway. You collapsed the building.
just Helen just being... It's funny because like Helen was a heroine and she understood like the whole hero work. But like when she became a mother and then like she stopped the whole hero business along with Bob, she understood like the troubles of real life, you know, just trying to like stuff like that.
Yep.
And then like she also obviously as a mother, like she understood that with Bob, like when he was going through this, like she said it's not about him, like in the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because it's really about their family. And like they're supposed to be more supportive towards their kids. So it's showing there are so many things and elements in The Incredibles that they show just how of what's going on. And this is only like the first half of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
The second half is obviously about Bob getting back into business with talking with Mirage and then talking about like taking out a super weapon, which is basically like when you find out later like what that's about.
I did think that idea was cool that like why wouldn't private companies just hire the superheroes to do superhero stuff with them but not in saving the world stuff but just in private business development or whatever.
I mean, I guess that's why the concept of My Hero Academia, like, I know I'm going back to this. I can't help it. I guess that's what My Hero Academia has to do. Like, every hero kind of has their agency. Like, they have, like, a public agency instead of, like, a private. Like, because, like, heroes are public in the story, or in the world, so...
That took me a minute. So one thing that's weird about this scene, I still haven't totally captured it, but these characters have big foreheads, and it's kind of deceiving in that when you watch the show, you don't think they have very big foreheads, but they actually they're sizable, and it's not like their hairline sits way back, but part of her face is the head tilting up.
Yeah,
and because she doesn't have big bangs, I need to redo this. There's this part right here. The forehead actually needs to stick out over the top of the hair, and it's I've never had to draw where there weren't bangs to supersede the hair before, and so this is making it
a little bit more difficult,
an interesting challenge. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna get off the topic of My Hero. Sorry, I like the show, but if I talk about it too much, I'm gonna get stuck on it. But anyway,
My Hero Academia is the greatest show ever.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say it's really good. But...
Deku needs to marry that other girl.
God, why?
They all like each other so much. Just hurry up and hook up.
You become the harem protagonist.
Just do it already.
Just become the harem.
Save us like 12 seasons of nonsense.
I mean, we've discussed this on Blaze Blue and how Ragnar the Blooded should be the harem protagonist.
Oh, he already is, and it's just...
Oh, yeah, it's in a gag reel world. Now we need to implicate that in real life. I'm just kidding. Don't.
Ah.
But shit.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be good.
All right.
No.
Dang it! Just do.
Anyway, so yeah, like, and then I think it's I think it's bad that when Bob tells Helen that he found another job, and she's just like, what was the job that what did she tell her she was?
He thought he was going on a company retreat.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he had already been fired, and he didn't tell her that he had been fired. So he's like, "Oh yeah, company retreat. They're gonna fly me out to wherever, and do whatever, business things."
Exactly. And then obviously Bob goes back to Edna to
get a new suit.
No capes.
I just need a patch job.
So, yeah. Do you remember Thunderhead? Just Edna. My God, you've gotten fat. I'm sorry, I can't help the lines that Edna has.
It's a classic.
Oh, it's so good.
This is another weird thing, the way they did these noses. Oh my God.
Is it like a big, like, giant?
It's just huge. It's a huge circle. But again, they don't look off for the rest of the face. And this is one of the, fun. Disney style is so different.
Oh yes.
And even across movies, and I'm sure it was an event. I would love to see like the preliminary sketches on like how do you, because they're trying to draw Hawaiians.
Yeah.
And they're trying to capture some of their like natural features.
Yes.
That they have, and so it's the way they wound up drawing these is very interesting. But it's very focused around these very circular noses.
Yes.
And then the eyes are slanted, but they're still big because that's a Disney trademark is to have big eyes on their characters anyway.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's so different compared to like anime that's right here.
Right. So I guess when Bob goes to Edna, at this point I think he was already working out, like just to get back into shape.
Yeah, because he did a whole job and blew up the machine in his old suit.
Yeah,
that's why it was broken.
Yeah, and the thing is that it was obviously a test that we knew.
That was just a test. These are the real lottery tickets.
I mean, here's the deal. And then, like, when you figure out what happens to Bob, like, he fakes his own death, obviously. And then he goes to the computer, like, in the middle of the night to check out what's going on and what Syndrome's gonna do. And then he sees the history of all of these versions of the drone that he killed or he destroyed, and how many supers it has killed. Because like when he faked his death, he saw a Gazer Beam, and Gazer Beam was actually at his wedding. And he was one of the superheroes that were like still alive, but he didn't know what happened to him. And then, like after that, like he started to see like a lot of like superheroes just not here anymore, like wondering what happened to them. And then you realize like each iteration of the android or the droid had killed and destroyed and killed the superheroes just for a test. And then obviously at this time, Helen, she goes to Edna just to figure out where Bob is at. And then like Edna also has plans to make the suits for her and her children. So Just stuff like that, you know?
I think we're gonna change up the mouth.
Oh, okay.
The original design was this open mouthed expression, but I don't think I can do it correctly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with the other one that's slightly closed.
Right.
Easier. Open mouths are hard to proportion.
Mm-hmm. And then you had, and then obviously, like, Helen tried to know where Bob was at, and Bob was caught.
No.
What?
Do you know where he is?
Would you like to find out? and then, like, he blew his they blew his cover, and he got captured.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, Syndrome was like, "Who did you contact?" Just shocking him at this.
Lame. Help me, I'm Mr. Incredible. and then they go to the whole family. It's family is strength, not weakness.
Yeah. And then, like, he obviously, and then, like, Syndrome sent out missiles to kill his family in the plane. And then he's like, "No, call off the missiles, don't do anything." And then I felt so bad because Bob at that point thought his wife was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife and kids. And it was so sad. And, like, it was horrible because Mirage at that point, I don't know what she was doing, but, like, she didn't want to kill those, like, obviously kill the kids. I don't know. Maybe she was like, I don't know what's with her.
Well, she had, like, a change of heart moment.
I thought she was kind of, like, going for an affair moment with Mr. Incredible. I don't know. Who knows? And that's another thing. That was the whole thing about it. Like, Helen also thought he was having an affair or something. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Just being a cheater. Just, again, like, certain things. Certain kind of implications in the story. Just really goes to show, like, how much of an adult feeling it had. And that's what was very interesting with that show. Or with that movie. Along with the whole superhero thing, too. I mean, that was interesting in itself. Considering that Gazer Beam is basically Cyclops. I just realized, like, Lilo does not look like she has eyebrows.
No, the eyebrows aren't super heavily defined on her.
No.
She's not going to fit.
She's not going to fit in the picture. That's what I'm thinking.
Yep.
I mean, you look like you got a good grasp on, like, the...
I'm actually struggling pretty good here.
No, that's fine. Don't worry.
This face is hard. I did it all right in pencil, but there was a lot more assistance. This one's much more raw. Hey, that's the challenge of the expression sheet, man.
Yeah.
Go big or go home.
Right.
I feel like once I get one feature in, the rest is going to start falling.
Right. Just and then like when Helen realizes that Mr. Incredible or Bob's not having an affair, like they kind of like, oh, that's great, and then like Helen's like, oh, where are the kids? Or not kids. Bob's like, where are the kids? And then like she's like, oh, I left them back on the island. He's like, you left them? Just shit like that. Like, how did you just leave the kids? Especially on an island with a bunch of fucking secret agent Guidos.
Right.
Just, I don't see how you would, why would you do that? Other than...
Well, I mean, she couldn't take him with her.
Not really, no, but it's not good to leave kids to their own devices at that point. Because you know they're just going to roam around. You know?
Yep.
And then you have the whole fight scene. The fight scenes with like Elastigirl, like just kind of not Elastigirl, but Violet and Dash.
Yeah, running through the jungle.
Yeah, and then Dash running on water. And then Violet understanding her force field powers.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of reminds me of the Fantastic Four with the Invisible Woman. I mean, of course, I feel like that's what the powers are based on.
I did not watch a ton of the Fantastic Four.
No, that's fair. I didn't really like it either, but
I feel like there just wasn't much content to.
Yeah, I mean, while they do have the best, in my opinion, one of the best arch enemies in the Marvel Universe, Doctor Doom.
Yeah. He's a pretty good bad guy.
He is a good bad. Like there are tiers of bad guys in the Marvel Universe.
Well, then they used to be Sony, right?
Huh?
Fantastic Four. They weren't originally Marvel, were they?
No, they were always Marvel, but like in terms of the cinematic universe, they were Fox, and they were mostly just Fox.
Yeah.
It mostly has to do with having to deal with like legal issues with those properties, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks that the X-Men weren't able to join the MCU in time. Like I thought that would be cool if they did, but unfortunately, just.
I feel like they were kind of full already.
Yeah, but I mean, I still think like some kind of representation from the X-Men would have been good. Maybe Wolverine. You know, because Wolverine's always like, out of everybody, like the most iconic.
Yeah.
And like he's always like Wolverine's always out of all of the. Out of all of the X-Men, like he's the one that usually is like the poster boy for him. So, you know,
yep.
He always gets into these not wacky adventures, but just the adventures in the series.
Now I'm just erasing the.
It looks actually really good though.
The sketch. I feel like maybe I'll get a better picture when I go back.
This is nice though. Here, I'll be right back. Let me go to the restroom.
There we go.
If that's all right with you.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry, guys. Just imagine I'm still here. Kind of.
You know what? Yeah. Now that crosshair is away, I can kind of see this better.
Oh, definitely. That's great.
He yells from the toilet.
Yes. What's amazing? You go to work.
Don't listen to him. Basically, the thing that I was trying to do to get to the open mouth, or the technique that I had learned originally, was to draw the inside of the mouth first and then the outside. And that was working to a point. The problem was like I was struggling too much on getting the outside lips, like the tops of the lips, to match the inside. Because one thing that's kind of funny about this scene or this movie, when you go back and look at it, Nani has like a defined upper and lower lip, probably to showcase lipstick. But Lilo's mouth is usually just the straight line or oval figure. She doesn't. You don't see the top and bottom of her lips, so it's not as detailed. But they have the same eyes and noses. Actually, I think I've got the nose down. Well, the mouth is a poorly constructed temporary hold. That's not what I'm going for, but. We're getting kind of the features aligned on the face little bit better. And he's back.
You definitely got that forehead down. That forehead.
She's got big old eyes.
Yeah. Stop staring at me with them big old eyes. But anyways, I'm back. But yeah, I really love the expression face that you're giving here, Alex. Like, it really looks top notch.
It's coming along, all right.
That's good.
That makes it look a little better.
Yep.
So yeah, one trick, I guess I would say that I use is if you can't get the feature you're aiming for on the face to act right, draw in a temporary one,
right?
Just to have it located, and that makes it easier to see how the rest of the face is going to line up by comparison. So now, because I've got this temporary mouth in, I can see where the eyes sit a little better, and I can see where the nose sits a little better.
Yeah.
And then you get the rest of the face filled in, and then you go back and erase that temporary feature and try to draw what you were originally aiming for.
Right.
Her face is not. Their faces are very round in this one. They're not. They've got the same type of shapes. Like typically, a face is kind of like a what do you call it? A potato.
Yeah.
And you curve in on the spot where the eye is going to sit, because that's just like that's just how faces work. And then the outside of the cheek, and then the cheek will kind of stick out and then break back in.
Right.
There we go. But on this one, their faces are so round that part is that it has to be like done like a lot more subtly.
Right.
I think we're kind of getting there though.
I mean, you got a good basis right here. It still looks really good.
This has made it farther than I thought it would.
Yeah.
But like when you stick the cheek in like that too far, where it comes out and then way back in, your character looks older.
Right.
If you want to show age, make those indentions on the cheek stick in even further.
Yeah.
That's a good way to either show that they're old or that they're very skinny.
Right.
But neither is the case here. This is like a young 20-something that eats well.
Yeah, she looks fine right here.
That's actually okay.
Well, she doesn't have those big of lines on her face.
And now I have too much jaw right here. There we go. These are actually they don't look quite like this. They look more like this. And this. And this. Not that sharp. Less. And this is where it gets tough, because these strokes that I'm trying to do, my pen's a little bit too fat for.
Yeah.
This is where the actual like pencil and paper come in handy. Trying to give her alien eyeballs. Oh my God, cooperate. There, something like that. And something like that. There we go. And thick eyebrow. Starts thin and really fills out towards the end. The big bowl in the middle. Not overlapping. Probably too thick. We'll come back to it later. And here.
Oh, sorry.
The sidebar actually comes off of the side a little bit.
Sorry, I was very distracted by what you're doing here.
It's a process.
It's also because I guess I don't have like that much of a, like I said.
And now she looks sad. I'm trying to.
I mean,
And the thing.
no, frustration ensues. It'd be funny if you did that thing for The Office.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Where he's like, no, God, no!
No, you're not to that level yet. Well, one thing that's kind of weird is I drew two different scenes.
Right.
Or two different frames, basically, from the same shot. And I hand drew one frame, and I'm actually using the second frame as a reference.
Yes.
And one of the things that they defer on is like that shoulder position and the mouth and where the direction that the eyes are looking in one frame.
Yes.
Donnie's looking at Lilo, and the one I'm drawing, she's looking at Stitch. Because it's actually the more dramatic face. Right. And I'm gonna redo the
mouth.
Shoulders.
Oh yeah, for the kind of U neck.
Because this neck actually comes in kind of here.
Yeah.
And you can actually see her collarbone in this one.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh my God.
Give her some human definition, you know.
Steeper than that. Something like that.
Yeah, you're close.
Now the shoulder's up too high.
But yeah, like The Incredibles, man, just a good movie.
Good show all over, yeah.
And I guess this is also a play to say that, like, talking about like MHA. I know I'm going back to it, but whatever. I just like the idea of quirks and how, like, their powers on definition. And you think, and you, like, you see it, and you watch the show, and you see, like, just how many powers there are in the show I almost call it Mortal Kombat.
Of Mortal Kombat.
No, My Hero. So certain characters in the 20 characters that there are in Class 1A, you have someone that has fire and ice. You have someone that can make explosions with their hands from the sweat of nitroglycerin. So the nitroglycerin is sweat to make more powerful explosions. Then you have someone that can make any inanimate object through lipids. You have someone that if they touch you with one hand, with all 5 fingers, you obtain 0 gravity. You become weightless. You have someone that has the effects of a frog.
I think we know who that character is.
Yeah, Sui or Asui.
The one that's invisible.
What? No. It's Toru. That's Toru. Toru is literally just invisible. She has, she's literally invisible. Then that's basically it. However, it looks like her powers are more in terms of refracting light off of herself.
Oh, is that why she's invisible?
Yes, I believe so. Honestly, they could have made her more interesting in that instance, you know? That's just me. So there are certain characters that I think should get more of a spotlight because of their quirk or because of, how they could utilize it. The character I think that should get... I mean, I'm saying this as a personal preference. But the character that I think just should get a little bit more.
If I was writing My Hero Academia,
If I was the main character, no, if I was the main writer and author,
Dear Shonen Jump.
yeah. But yeah, like I think Mina should get more of a spotlight because she has I think she has a cool power. She has I believe I already told you, or she has acid.
Mm-hmm.
She can make like acid to a point where like she can like glide on it for safety, or like she can make it like the viscosity the viscosity of how powerful that acid can be. So yeah, like I think I still think that's like a really interesting power. Then you have like Kirishima. He literally can just harden his body and like make it into like hard as a rock. Then you have Kaminari. He has the electrocution. He has like the electrification quirk. He's obviously like electricity based, but if he does it too much, he fries his brain. So it's such a backlash that it sucks.
Can't be worse than going blind.
I mean, Tsubaki did it with her holding the Izayoi in Blaze Blue.
It's the nudge to another game that we play.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm kind of going in cringe territory, but I'm always thinking like, I feel like if My Hero and like Blaze Blue kind of like fused together, it wouldn't even be that much of a difference.
Probably not.
I mean. And I think it's because of just how anime Blaze Blue is. Just how it just has that realm of anime that could just fit into anywhere. Well, not anywhere, but just into certain series, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I could just imagine like Makoto Tsubaki and Noelle like going into the MHA universe and just fitting in a sense. I mean, because like they're already I wouldn't say they're beastkin powers, but they're like characters that are basically like have the.
That's what they're modeled after.
Well, yeah, but also they have like just traits of animals. Like I said, like with Sue. She's a frog chick. Like she has like powers of a frog. Pony. She doesn't have like she technically isn't a pony, but she has like certain attributes as a pony. Like she has like hooves. She has like a horn. She has like horns too.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? The biggest person, or the two biggest people that have those kinds of quirks that are like animal based. Are Ryukyu. She's a dragon. She's a dragon chick. And then Maruko. She's a rabbit.
Ah.
Well, she's not technically a rabbit, but she has like rabbit traits. Like she has giant ears. She has a tail. She has like a cotton tail. I think she has just bigger feet. Actually, no. The bigger feet are like boots. She doesn't have like actual big feet. But she has like just. And it's kind of strange to see because, like, I really like the idea of, like I said, like, mixing the MHA and Blaze Blue universes together because I feel, like I said, like, Beastkin, I feel like Beastkin could definitely, like, just blend into a crowd, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Also, I gotta go back to your drawing. I really love how you're doing, like, the shading for the hair. And like how her eye, I can really see her eyebrow like stand out.
Now it's starting to define.
I'm starting to really enjoy it. Like it looks really cool.
One thing I just noticed, compared to pencil technique, like normally I could shade like this and then shade like this, and you would be able to see that it's two different things. Right. But in the center here, it looks the same.
Right.
Whereas like in pencil, you would see the direction of the strokes. So that's kind of a funny deal that I can just make up whatever.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to tell the difference.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
I know there's a fill function, but I don't know how to use it. That's why this is taking place.
Yeah. I guess another thing, the reason why I'm kind of a sucker for like saying that like like MHA and BlazBlue would be like a good crossover was because just of course like I said, like Noelle, Makoto, Tsubaki, Carl, and like other characters were like in the academy. So like what difference would it make if they just went to the MHA universe and like go to hero school or something like that? Like I didn't really see a difference. And then obviously, like Ragnar would kind of be like a vigilante.
Yeah, he'd be the outsider that doesn't want to show up to class because he's too cool for it.
Well, I mean, in the terms in MHA, a vigilante is kind of like an outlaw, so they're kind of against the law in the series.
He's breaking the law.
I am the law. Look at me. I am Captain now. But yeah, like. The whole thing with Ars Magnus, while it would be different because it's kind of like magic, it still would be in the possibility of the show. Because like with Izuku, he has like multiple quirks. Well, not really multiple quirks, but he has like one for all, and like one for all kind of gives him like multiple quirks.
Mm-hmm.
So what's to say, like, if you put in like a BlazBlue character and you see like these different moves that they say like, there's just a different quirk, just fit into their fit into their battle style.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm getting so into this. I think it's just because of just the idea of it just kind of interests me.
It's fun to try and insert characters into other universes and fan fiction it up.
I mean, hey, I'm all for it. I'm kind of that kind of trash, guys. Don't worry. I'm kind of that trash, guys. Don't worry about it. But like I like the idea of like mixing other universes with each other because of just how I would see it or how it would look differently,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I'm always into like big scale universe, galaxy kind of crossovers. So like if it would be like if the Halo universe switched crossover like with Mass Effect or Star Wars or something like that.
Ooh, that would be cool.
I think it would be cool. I would love to see a Sangheili Jedi, like an elite Jedi.
Ooh,
that would be really cool. A Jirohane, which is a brute, those apes, a brute Sith. Just stuff like that. Like, I think it just... I guess that actually comes full circle here, because when you see stuff like that, and you see, like, people make it into art, though, it really interests me, and I'm like, wow, I would love to make something like this. Like, just... mix in the different universes with each other just to make some kind of new drawing. And I guess that's what crossovers do. Like crossovers sometimes like give the ideas that people don't think about.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of like why I drew that Izuku is like Mega Man X. Because, I mean, I know some people thought about it, but, like, I would love to see, like, what it would look like. And that's why I made it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just saying, like, I could just look at this look at this picture all day and just say, like, this is what it would look like. I'd be like, no, like, I'm going to see what I can make, and I want to see what I can do to make, like, a new costume, make a new look for him, like, make him look kind of robotic. Just stuff like that. Just try to make the creative juices of like of a different looking character.
Right. That fan art's always fun.
Yeah,
I enjoy just when they do like outfit swaps on characters.
Oh yeah, I really enjoy that too. And it can look, and sometimes like the outfit swaps, it could look better on characters than the actual character that it was on.
Yep.
I mean, sometimes you can just pull it off. Like sometimes characters you can just pull it off better.
Ragnar dressed as Bullet. Bullet dressed as Ragnar.
Now that's not really. That's kind of more fan service than anything. If you think about it.
I don't know. She pulled it off pretty good.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, because I think it's just because Bullet is just just
already good looking character.
Oh yes. But it sucks that she's only in the third game. It sucks that she just wasn't in the rest of the game, like in the rest of the story. It's a shame because I would love to see that some more. Like certain characters in the series, I think should be there, but obviously if you put everybody in there in one game, then it's going to be like kind of stale.
Yeah.
So I understand why, but I still like the idea of like having all the characters there and just kind of. Well, you don't have to really play them. You could just put them in cutscenes.
Yeah. Just to have them in the game to enjoy.
Yeah, and also like tell their stories and just. I mean, of course, it would make the game really long in the Blaze Blue series, but it doesn't mean that they would overstay their welcome.
Right.
Because they would be coming into like either the next game or the next game.
And the next game.
And the next day. And the next day. But anyways.
I don't know if you can tell, but I am conveniently avoiding the problem of the entire drawing.
The mouth?
The mouth.
I mean, you gotta face your fears sometimes.
I have to. It's a toss up between Stitch's hands and the mouth. I think we'll give that one another crack.
Get the mouth, man. We gotta move on to the second drawing.
I know it's gonna be a really good one, and it's got a cool story behind it. Okay, all right. Just slap it in the mouth. Just
do it. Just be like Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
Blech. Yeah. That's an awful mouth.
It's okay. I mean, like I said, you can fix it in post haste or post commentary if you want. I mean, like I said, the entirety of the drawing looks fantastic. Like, you really nailed the whole Stitch thing down. You definitely nailed...
Stitch came out really well.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good, like, little highlight moment.
Come on, man. I believe in you. It's just looking at it. You can really see just how descriptive and like decorated this drawing looks.
Well, yeah, huge points to the Disney artists for figuring that stuff out.
Definitely. Just it looks. I'm not saying it's like extremely clean to a point where like it's spot on, but it's definitely a close. It is really fucking close. You just give it so many dimensions in this instance that it really fits the drawing, the reference that you make.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoy that. It looks really good. I'm shifting. Whoops.
Rip the couch.
Yeah, that couch, it didn't deserve it. It didn't deserve me destroying it. But yeah, like, I guess just how, like, seeing how you're doing the sketch, it really shows just how descriptive you are with this.
Oh, I'm trying.
Oh no, like, I know you are. It looks really good.
You know what?
No.
You know what?
That's good.
I figured out the mouth. Basically, all I did was I didn't draw the outside of the lip.
Hey, that's fine.
In the original sketch, the outside. You get a lot from just doing the insides. Basically, what you're seeing is the bottom and top of the upper and lower lip, the teeth, and then the tongue, inside of the mouth of the tongue, and then I've just got like the little crease where your chin and where that, I don't know what you call that spot in between your nose, and your upper lip.
Yeah.
But basically that. But that's a solid attempt.
That is good.
Starting from 2 circles.
Yeah. That is, like I said, that is good.
We got to clean up Stitch's hand. But yeah, the face, I think, is done.
Stitch's hand.
And all this is just making it less blocky.
Making it more claw-like.
It's got chubby fingers.
With the little nails right there, you know?
Yep.
I'm sure you got this. You got this, bruh.
Yeah, these aren't as hard as the face. And then this is...
I wonder what Stitch is thinking in that moment.
Protect me from Jamba.
Protect me from Jamba.
Because he already tried to escape, but Jamba shot at him.
Oh, yeah.
And so now he's clinging to Lilo as his shield.
Oh, oof. The meat shield protection.
That was the whole deal. Because then Lilo adopts him, and he runs out the door and shakes his butt at Jamba. Woohoo!
Yeah, it actually had a TV series, right?
I watched it. A lot. I actually watched a lot of that series.
I did too. I mean, I don't remember most of the units, though.
Yeah, I don't have them memorized. I have the DVD for the sequel, too.
Right.
Fix the webbing. There we go. There's a Stitch claw-ish. Really, it's too big compared to the rest of his arm, but I don't care.
No, that's still good. We need to move on. We must move on.
I know. That was an hour and a half.
Oh, my God.
I keep hitting shift,
all right, Alex,
not caps lock.
Let me just tell you, you don't have to make this to a point where it looks like the Mona Lisa.
I don't think this one's going to be as difficult. I say that, but...
Famous last words.
Okay, so this scene is from a Disney short. Okay. Part of a collection that they made called The Great American Heroes. Did you ever see that?
Let me see.
And so
let us see what you got.
One of the heroes was a guy named John Henry.
Okay.
And these are people from actual American folklore.
Oh, all right.
It's I think it was him, Johnny Appleseed, Paul Bunyan, and Pecos Bill.
Oh, okay.
And they basically went and animated, like an 11-minute version of each of these guys' stories.
Yeah.
And you got a little bit of American history and
that's good.
How they kind of shaped the states. John Henry was a former slave and was freed at the end of the Civil War.
Right.
And he married his sweetheart that he met on the plantation, Potty.
Yeah.
Or Polly. It's Polly. Mm-hmm. Polly. Potty. They say it weird. I don't know how she pronounces it. Potty. Potty. I think it's probably written Polly. Anyway.
Yeah.
And they go out to, kind of go seek their fortune. And they come upon when they got married, Potty's gift to John was she had their chains melted down into a hammer.
Oh.
That she gave to him on his wedding day.
Yeah.
So they went out west and came upon a railroad crew who had a contract with the state to build the railroad, and once it was finished, every man got acreage. as their payment if they finish the line.
Right.
Well, by the time John Henry had shown up, their deadline had been bumped up to basically reach the mountain by sunrise.
Yeah.
Or they would lose the entire contract, and they couldn't believe it, and everyone was very irate.
Yeah.
And John shows up and he goes, "I'll take you there." The foreman's like, "When did you start building railroads?"
Just now.
"Today." And he swings his 20-pound hammer and drives a rail spike into the ground with one swing.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
Oh my God.
crap, this guy's strong. And then they start singing a song, and John Henry is slamming spikes all the way down.
Yeah.
The line and everything is moving and grooving.
Yeah.
Having a good time. It's a really good song too.
That's good.
I'll have to put it on in post. Well, they get to moving down the line, and an adversary shows up.
Yeah.
It is a steam-driven railroad driver.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a train that's off the track.
Right.
And it could also strike in a spike with one swing.
Yeah.
And so the foreman runs up to the operator and the conductor, and he says, "We were promised this land. You can't take our job from us."
Yeah.
And the conductor takes the contract and throws it in the boiler. And he's like, "Well, that's wrong." And so the crew gets all mad because they're like, "No, we're not going to lose our land. Tip the train." So they run over there, and everybody gets on one side and tries to tip the train. And John gets on the other side and catches it and flips it back over by himself.
Right.
And they're like, "Holy crap." And he says, "This ain't no way to settle things. If I can best this here machine, then we get to keep our land." And the conductor agreed. So the foreman runs out there with a gun, and he's like, "All right, first to the furthest by sundown."
Yeah, and it's 10 paces.
No. Okay, let me explain further. They set up they set up ties as far as they could go.
Yeah.
And rode the spikes. And John and the engine sat on each a tie. And the race was to drive spikes down the line and see who could get the farthest by sundown.
Right.
And so the foreman runs up there, fires the gun, and man, they're off. John's swinging away, and the machine driving with its engine. And John starts to fall behind, but then picks up the pace,
Right.
getting super motivated, and winds up swinging so fast he makes it to the mountain before sundown.
Right.
And beats the machine. And so everyone's like, "Yeah, all right, he made it.
Good job.
And we won the thing." And the steam engine pulls up alongside of him, and the foreman's like, "Oh, it's not sundown yet." And the engine turns its driving spike sideways and starts chiseling into the mountain.
Oh.
And they're like, "Oh, crap, what are we going to do now?" Well, Potty sings another motivational song and throws him a second hammer, and John takes both hammers and starts swinging them at the mountain and digging his way through. And so they're like, "All right, here we go."
This is starting to turn into like an anime or something.
It was not quite an anime.
I know. Just the way you're telling it, like just.
But
I know it's a folklore kind of thing, but just the telling story about it, just.
Yeah, it is a good one.
Yeah.
So now, John and the machine are racing through the mountain, and he's swinging with both hammers, and they're glowing from the friction, and smoking like iron, and and the crew.
John has iron lungs.
Yeah, and the crew runs to the other side, and to go see who's gonna break through the mountain first, and they can hear them both coming, and then there's a huge rumbling and a crash, and out of the pile of smoke comes John Henry with 2 smoldering hammers, and the machine explodes behind him.
Oh, Jesus.
And so everyone's like, yeah. So everyone's like, oh yeah, he drove all the way through the mountain. We get to keep the contract and everything, and they're all excited. But then John falls from literally moving a mountain into fatigue and dies right there in Potty's arms. And so that's the scene I'm driving. But the show ends with her telling her son, whom she had with John, that now them two living on the land that he had earned for him.
Yeah,
you can move mountains too if you just
give it your all.
If you just give it your all, man.
It's a very inspirational story.
It was an amazing story. It's one that I've just never forgotten. Super inspiring, and it's fun because it's a really sketchy art style. Like the show is full of construction lines.
Yeah.
And as part of it, because it looks very raw, and rugged, and it's describing the American West.
It doesn't look like chicken scratch, does it? Or
no, it's not. It's not chicken scratch. It's all colored in, but it's still, you see, it's very sketchy.
Oh, okay.
In its style,
right?
And I think it's a really good representation of like here this was the West was very wild and untamed, and these great things could be done by people.
Well, of course. Mostly because of just how much they're willing to push themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to push themselves to the peak of, I guess, human performance.
Yeah, and just earn their way in the world. So yeah, I'm so done. So I'm trying to try John Land here.
It's very, like I said,
after he's done his job.
It's very inspirational. He's done like the work that he wanted to do to keep those people's contracts safe. Just stuff like that. Just trying to give it his all for not only just him, but for everybody. So that's how he made himself a legend.
Mm-hmm. It's a really fun set of tales if anyone wants to go find it.
Yeah. You honestly should. I mean, if you're looking for something that's inspirational, just kind of like a folklore story, then try it out. Just give it a read.
Yeah, don't think that America is short of heroes.
Oh no, definitely. I still don't think they are. I mean, in this day and age, like we have doubts, like in ourselves and like just other people, but you have to realize that even if we have doubts in our hearts and our minds, there are still people out there who can be heroes that can be the inspiration that we all want to follow as a people. And it shows like, and when that tenacity is shown out there in the world, like it gives other people hope and motivation to strive for that.
Right.
And I really enjoy seeing that, just something like that really puts my faith back into the American people. Now, I'm not saying I don't have faith now. No.
Yeah, it gets you excited, and you're like, you're proud to be here.
Yeah, of course. And just there's so much going on in the world that puts us down, like with this whole thing, with the whole pandemic thing, and just other factors.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the negatives.
Yeah, of course, and like I feel like it's more prominent to point out negatives than it is positives, and like in anything.
That's just an easy thing to do.
Yeah. Like when we are drawing, like just there are certain things that I criticize myself over, and it's so easy to.
Oh yeah, you've seen me impossible to take a compliment.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't mean to say. Look, I'm sorry. I don't mean to not take the compliment. I mean to say that I could do better, and it motivates me to do better the next time I draw. Whenever it comes down to making something special, at least. And I'm guessing that's Potty.
Yeah, she's holding them.
Yeah.
Try and detail this here.
So he fell off the mountain?
No, he had blasted all the way through it.
Oh.
And made it with hammers held high and then collapsed afterwards.
Oh, okay. From literal deathly fatigue.
Yeah.
I mean, because he just beat a steam engine, right?
Yeah, he beat hammering a steam engine through a mountain.
Which
literally raced him. After driving in like 50 railroad spikes in one swing.
Yeah.
One of those just cool raw power moments.
Oh, definitely. And I guess I don't know. Like I always get that from, and I'm not trying to like dunk on America, but like I could just see that happen so many times in anime. Just motivational moments.
Yeah.
And it just, there are certain anime that have those moments that like the music, and the thing is, it's so perfect because the music kicks in just at the right time.
Oh yeah.
Like the main character, or like one of the characters are fighting, or like they're feeling their second wind or something like that to do a final showdown. Like I think one of my favorite parts is and it's really sad. It's not like in terms of like sad where it's like, I guess. Well, actually, no, it is sad, but it's a part in Yu Yu Hakusho. Spoilers, by the way, if anybody has never seen that. Exactly.
Don't tell me.
But if you want to skip what I have to say, you can go ahead, or you can mute it or something. I don't know. So, in Yu Yu Hakusho, there's a arc called Chapter Black, and the whole idea of the chapter or the arc is where the demon world is, or someone is making a portal to the demon world from the human world, and this plot, if the demons get out, like certain demons get out of the demon world to the human world, they will destroy the earth. That's just what's going to happen. Like they're so powerful that they'll just completely annihilate Earth.
Yeah, that's their gig.
Yeah, kind of. So Yusuke and the gang has to stop them. But the thing is that Yusuke is not really the key to opening the portal to the Kakai barrier, which is the barrier that holds like the stronger B class and A class demons. But the Makai barrier like keeps those the strongest demons out of actual like human world. And the only way to cut it is with the Jigen-To, which is like a dimensional sword from a psychic.
Ooh.
And at this time, Kuwabara, he is the weakest out of the four protagonists. Well, not protagonists, but like the weakest out of the four of the group. But his powers were dormant after the Dark Tournament, after that big Dark Tournament arc. And then they finally awaken, like, when his friends are in trouble. Like, because certain psychics, that human people, develop territories, and then they can activate them anytime to keep people in a boundary. Or their territory. one of the characters, his name is Seaman. Yes, laugh, I know. But his name is Seaman. And he uses his blood to create water monsters and to make prisons. And at this time, Kuwabara is feeling helpless because all three of his friends are getting dragged into this because of him and his interaction with Yusuke, which is the spirit detective in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And he's, like I said, he's getting targeted because he was part of Yusuke and his friends. Like he's one of the main characters.
Right.
So him and his friends get captured into a water monster, and their lungs are filling with not blood, but like with water, like because they're drowning.
Mm-hmm.
And Seaman, he is under the impression that like all humans are bad, like they're only awful people, and there are no such thing as like good humans.
Gotcha.
And and he was telling him that Kuwabara at that point, they were talking about like friendship values and like how people are, like when he sees people, like when Seaman sees people, sometimes he sees people as like the bully, and like he's just been neglected and stuff and bullied all his life.
Right.
And he thinks that Kuwabara is one of those bullies. Because Kuwabara used to be like, not really a gang leader, but he used to be like just kind of a punk.
Yeah.
That runs with his friends that beat the shit out of people. But the thing is that like, because of that, Seaman thinks that Kuwabara is just kind of a selfish person. And thinks that like, oh, like I bet you only want to save your own skin, not your friends. And like he wants to break Kuwabara to make him become selfish, to see whose ideals are right. Because Kuwabara has the idea of not everybody, even if they're bad, like everybody has a good soul in a sense.
Right.
But Seaman does not agree in a sense with humans. So, like, Seaman is just kind of being angry at him and, like, saying, like, oh, since I have the power here and you're in my territory and you can't do anything, I guess we know whose ideals wins in the end of the day, because he's about to kill him.
Yeah.
So, Kuwabara, he's trying to use his powers, but he can't because, like I said, they're dormant. They're stuck. And his body's been preparing for this moment. So, like, as he's trying to punch out of his way out of the monster, he feels his self-worth just kind of crumble because he can't save himself and he can't save his friends, more importantly. Like, he wants to save his friends because he doesn't think he deserves it. They don't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
So then, while Seaman's gloating, Kuwabara actually starts cutting, like, through the boundary. And the thing is that with the boundary that Seaman's put on all of them, it's an entirely different dimension.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to get out of it, but he can't. So then, he actually cuts, like I said, Seaman out of it. And Seaman's like, oh, this is impossible. How is this, like, what is happening? And then he remembers what Sensui, which is the main bad guy of the story, of this arc, is saying, like, we're looking for a powerful psychic that can cut the Kakai barrier.
Mm-hmm.
And like, Seaman's like, but he's the one. And then at the same time, this music and this kick-in is like going through. And it sounded so epic at that point. And it was just like, and then like Seaman, like when Seaman was like constantly getting cut, and he was like, but I'm not ready for this, because he didn't know
that was going to be the guy.
That Kuwabara was the one psychic that was able to cut through dimensions. And if you think about it, that is a ridiculous power.
Mm-hmm.
You have a fucking sword that can cut through dimensions. Do you realize how powerful that is? Like,
yeah, it's pretty game breaking.
yeah, he has the most, and the funny thing, he's the weakest, quote unquote, weakest of the four. But everybody wants to say, like, oh, they just threw him a bone when he had a spirit sword, and everybody else is, like, so much more powerful than him. The only reason why Kuwabara is not as strong is because he's just not as fast. Like, if he actually was fast...
If he could land hits, they'd be...
Or if he was, like, if he actually trained in like, swordsman skills and shit and stuff, you know?
Mm.
He would actually be a more formidable warrior. But... At the same time, he's kind of a kid, or he's a teenager. So
he's just a boy.
He's just a boy. I mean, same with Yusuke, but there's a different reason why I classify Yusuke from Kuwabara. So, anyways, he finally cuts through the dimension, and he hurts Seaman to a point where he can get out of the dimension with his friends, and he cuts through the water monster. So then Kuwabara's like gets in front of like Seaman and he's about to kill him. And he's like, you deserve to die. But then he's like, but I can't do it. Because he wants to save him instead. And Seaman's like, why are you trying to save me? And Kuwabara's like, a real man does what he's supposed to do. Because he has because the thing is with like Kuwabara, like he has a code. Like he's trying to be a real man. Oh wait, I mean not really like a real man.
I'm a real man.
Exactly. No, but like he's trying to be like a person that has his to go on his own code.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's respectable. Everybody else in the show is like, oh, that's stupid, like blah blah blah. But I think it's respectable because he has like not barriers, but he just has like limits and rules compared to like someone that just
runs amok.
Yeah, exactly, and has just no honor in a sense. And that's what I respect about him.
Nice.
I mean, because like everybody was always like, oh, Kuwabara is just the lamest out of the four. Like, Kurama's like the better one. Or, oh, Hiei's the strongest. Or, Yusuke's the best, obviously, because he's the MC. But for me, like I said, I like Kuwabara. I think he's a cool character. I think out of all four of them, he has his life, like, mostly together, like, at the end of the show. And the thing is that, like, I wish he was able to use that dimensional sword more in the show.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, I guess, like, if he had to use it, it would be, like, I don't know, broken.
Right.
Just something like that, just not really, it doesn't irk me, but it just kind of, like...
It just bothers you a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely moments where you're like, I wish they could do this with a character, you know, just to be able to see it, that cool moment.
Yeah. And like when he does activate the dimensional sword, I think it's the coolest part of the show because it's so much build up to a point where we know who's the carrier of the barrier sword. And now, like, and then sometimes he's not focused enough to actually summon it later on. And the thing is about it is that, like, once the show goes on from Chapter Black, you see the despair. I mean, like, Yusuke has to fight Sensui, and everybody knows that Sensui is just too strong for Yusuke at this point. And he can't beat him. So what Yusuke's doing is he, like, while his three friends are trapped, like in another barrier, or not really a barrier, but like in a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to play spectator while Sensui and Yusuke duke it out. And everybody, and like the thing is like Kuwabara and the rest are saying that Yusuke is just Kuwabara is saying like, oh, Yusuke's just not trying to stall for time, but like he's trying to fight to his last breath so he can finally like unlock his new potential. But Kurama and Hiei figure out that Yusuke is all maxed out at this point. Like he's
done everything.
He's giving it all he's got, and it's not enough.
He's giving her all she's got.
And and Kurama realizes that all three of them are the ones that need to
step it up.
They need to power up more. And the only way to do that is push them past their breaking point, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what happened with Yusuke in the Dark Tournament when in a certain situation happened. So Kuwabara is made to watch, or Kuwabara and the others are made to watch Yusuke just get the absolute shit kicked out of him. Like, and just doesn't have a chance to fight back. So, and the thing is that with Kuwabara, like he gets his powers, not really powers, but he gets his best, like when he's the most emotional, like when he feels his emotions flare out.
Yeah.
Like he gets more powerful in a sense. I'm not saying like if he's a crybaby, he gets powers, but like
when he's motivated.
Yeah. When his resolve is to its maximum, like his powers as a psychic evolve, and that's how he was motivated to try and make the dimensional or the Jigentou once again, because all he wants to do is save Yusuke, because at this point, like I said, Yusuke is literally about to be killed by Sensui.
Yeah, he's getting no help.
Yeah. And like Kuwabara, he's beating himself up over it because it's his mental fortitude that's holding him back.
Mm-hmm.
So like when you hear him break down, like his powers are starting to surge forward to try to cope with the whole breakdown.
He's doing a big cope.
Yeah, he's doing a big cope. Meanwhile, like Hiei and Kurama and Seaman are all trapped and watching him just try and form the Jigentou, because that's their only way out, other than like the person that put him in there letting him out.
Right.
So finally, when Kuwabara forms the sword, it's already too late, and Yusuke is killed.
Rip.
So when Kuwabara actually makes it out along with the others, they try to wake Yusuke up and stuff, but he's just Kuwabara was just kind of. He was just in denial, like to watch his. At this point, I wouldn't say brother, but more like his. At this point, they were basically brothers, like because they had that bond of being friends. That's why.
Right.
But the thing is that like when Kuwabara saw it and like when he felt him like. How cold he was because he's died.
Yep.
Like it really broke his heart, along with his other two friends, like with Kurama and Hiei. And the thing is that like at this point in the show, well, not at this point in the show, but like in the show, like Hiei is never really like emotional because he's just kind of a loner. Like he's an edgy loner. Well, he is. Yeah. And then Kurama is more like a deadly, intelligent like creature. Like he's intelligent. He's also cool, calm. But whenever he gets to work, like he is ruthless, and he's cutthroat.
Yeah.
So, it's But of course, during his time with humans, like he's mellowed out to a point. So, anyways, when they see him die, when they see Yusuke die, and Sensui's like just kind of like trial of humanity rests, the defense stands. He's saying this because at this point the barrier to the demon world is about to be broken.
Yeah.
And the thing is that when Sensui, like, because Sensui has multiple personality disorder,
Mm-hmm.
so he has multiple personalities like inside his head. But the thing is that when he fought and killed Yusuke, like he said, like if you guys are gonna get your swings in now, this is your only chance. And at that point, the demon world barrier broke, and like, I'm not saying all hell broke loose, but like just
most of it.
The barrier broke, and like the demons started to pour in, and at that point, that was the end of the episode. And the thing is that what makes it so, like I said, so emotional and like action packed is the fact that, like I said, Yusuke is literally getting his ass kicked, like he's being beaten in front of while his friends are forced to watch instead of like try and help him.
Right.
So it's like I said, it's so depressing to see like Kurobara like try to charge up, have the one power that could save the day, but he can't. And it's just so emotional because it's him himself that's not strong enough. And he needs the push to try and make the dimensional sword so he can actually help. But like I said, he's just too weak at this point to help, and it cost him his friend's life.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, that's my whole take on that. I think it's, like I said, I think it's so emotional. Like when you hear music like that, and you hear like this crescendo and just this bunch of factors like in anime, like it can make some of the most emotional like moments in the show.
Oh yeah, it's a big dramatic thing.
And the thing is, what I loved about the show is just how, like I said, how emotional it can be, like how interesting it can be at the end. And I'm sad to see it end like that. If you didn't know, actually. The show, it kind of ended abruptly because of what happened to the author. And like how like just his health was in just complete disarray. Like when he was making the Yu Yu Hakusho manga. It was because of these health problems. Because Japan is really cutthroat when it comes to
It's work ethic.
well, that and also like posting like manga. Like,
yeah.
The competition is so tough.
Everyone's making something.
Yes. And like if you don't make it these numbers, then you're cut. Like I said, business is cutthroat. And you have to have that reader count, you know?
Right.
So it's really sad to see him, Toshiori, I believe his name is, like have his health deteriorate because he's trying so hard to make this manga and
keep up with the demand.
Yes. So, and I feel bad for all of like the manga. I'm not saying all manga writers, but like a lot of them that do it.
For the pressure that they're under.
Yeah, and just how much their health takes a dive because of it. It's so. I'm not saying it's sickening, but it's
like I would rather have you live and be able to have a whole story than to just push out everything right now and then die.
Yeah. I mean, if you think, I'm not saying you think about it, but like, if you think about it, that's kind of what. Do you think that's what happened to the Berserk writer?
Yeah, I remember hearing like that same concept of where they were just worn down.
Yeah, and I really feel bad
with a overly demanding upload schedule.
Right.
I'm sure that wasn't the only factor, but I
no.
bet it was absolutely contributing.
Yes. And here's the deal. I wish this is another thing that I wish didn't happen. I wish that certain writers continued on, not because like I want a sequel, but more like I just want to see the rest of the story end, like to see how it goes on.
Yeah, how would they have wanted to finish the world?
Yeah. And the perfect example for this is actually the series called The Guyver, like I said, Bio Boosted Armor. The author didn't finish. He didn't finish his work. And I was like, what happened to him? Like, did something happen? Or like, it was such a mystery to me. But the thing is that like, the manga didn't finish and neither did the anime. Like, the anime was only like 20 episodes. And, oh wait, no, 25. There's 25 episodes. But the thing is that like, we didn't get to see the end of the story in the manga either. It just kind of abruptly ended.
Interesting.
Yeah. And the thing is that like, I felt my heart broke because I really loved like the old Guyver OVA, the music and like just how emotional. Like I said, it goes back to the emotion, but like how emotional it was. It was just so interesting to hear about and just watch.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said. And I'll say it again to everybody here. Music is such a big factor when it comes to tone or any kind of like scene in either a movie or anime or any kind of TV series. Sometimes it makes the scene.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a reason why soundtracks haven't been included since ever.
Well, I mean, yeah. It definitely, it happens a lot especially with like video games or like I said, anime or TV series. Like your soundtrack is so important because, like I said before, it keeps your audience interested sometimes, and other times it can give the interpretation of tone of the story, like just so many factors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, one of the places where it's most skillfully used is in horror movies.
Oh yes, definitely.
And being able to create feelings of unease with music.
Oh, and sometimes it's not even music; it's audio cues.
Yeah.
And like, if there's one game that really does this well, it's Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Silent fucking Hill. I'm sorry, I will always be unnerved by that game. And it's because of just what like ambient sounds they put in it. Like in the first game, like they make like when you're in the other world, like they make these kind of like grinding sounds or like these industrial noises that really throw you off when you're in an area.
Mm-hmm.
And then the imagery you see in the game, like seeing places like all rusted out, like just really just old,
worn down,
yeah, decay. It brings an unnerving atmosphere.
Definitely.
I mean, have you played the Silent Hill series yet?
I've watched playthroughs, but I've never owned a game.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that like some of the enemies that you see in the game are definitely
they're scary on their own merit.
Oh yes. And the thing is that like sometimes the game doesn't like there's a certain simulant, not simulator. There's a certain difference from like jump scare horror to like action like story driven horror.
Mm-hmm.
And like symbolic horror. With like games like the FNF series, like Five Nights at Freddy's, and like that. I mean, they also have a story, but it's mostly
it's jump scare and suspense.
Yeah.
Horror.
But they also have a story to tell, and it's it's not terrifying, but I do think it does warrant some kind of horror element.
Yeah.
Like when you look at Resident Evil, like you see survival horror, obviously, but sometimes that horror is kind of corny, like in certain areas, you know.
Yeah.
But then, of course, in the new, I'm saying this as a new, but like as in the new Resident Evil series, like whether it be like the remake for 2 and 3, the new 8, Resident Evil 8. Is it Resident Evil Village 8 or is it
8? It's 8, or you can call it Village.
Yeah, Resident Evil Village or 7. They bring back like this horror element that you really see compared to like 4, 5, and 6, where 4, 5, and 6 are kind of more action based. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? What else is there? And then there's also a batshit insane kind of horror. There's a game on GameCube. It's called Eternal Darkness. It's kind of off the walls in terms of like horror.
I've not played that one.
Have you seen it?
No.
It's really weird. Like it actually fucks with you in terms of like gameplay, not just horror elements in terms of like symbolic, but just stuff like stuff will happen where like the room will flip, like it'll flip backwards.
It'll just disorient you.
And sometimes the game, what it will do if your sanity is too low, the game will blue screen.
Ha.
Like the game, it'll make like the GameCube will make sure it's like something's wrong, or your head will like just kind of just fall off of your head or fall off your neck.
Ew.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. I'll tell you.
That's a good way to scare people.
I know that it's unpredictable. Like it's stuff like that really throws people off, and I wouldn't. Would you consider that like a jump scare?
Unpredictable horror can be a jump scare, but I think there's a very specific formula for a jump scare, which is a setup where you're expecting a certain outcome, and then the jump scare is the opposite of the outcome you were expecting.
Yeah.
And I think, but a what did you call it? What is it? A random horror? What was the word you just used?
A random horror?
What the type, like flipping the room? What did you call that?
That's just absolutely off the wall, like random.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's not an expectation to begin with. It's just something that happens.
Yeah. And
unexpected horror. That's what you were.
Yeah, unexpected horror. Yeah. And it's just weird because you don't expect it to happen, but it does. I mean, because like with the jump scare, sometimes you know when it's coming, and other times like it'll try to fake you out, and then it happens. But like with this, it just happened for some reason. You don't know why. You don't know how. It just did.
Right.
And then you like I said, you have like symbolic horror, like with the Silent Hill series. Like there are certain, like in Silent Hill 1 and 3, they're based off a cult, but like in 2 and 4, they're different. They're entirely different kinds of story, and what happens. However, you do still go to the other world, like the world of Silent Hill.
Yeah.
In all 4 of those games, there's no denying, and there's no way you can get out of it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that with Silent Hill, all 4 of them have a story to tell, and then as the story progresses, you see just kind of like what goes on and what's happening. You start to figure out more and more, and as you go on, like the imagery starts to get more clear, but at the same time, it starts to like darken even more with the whole aspect of it.
Yeah.
Also, going back to the drawing right here, I really like it.
Yeah, it's come together nicely. I think I had a much better success with these faces.
Oh, definitely.
I'm just trying to do a hand.
Then, anyways, yeah, and I think like the Silent Hill series really gives off that good symbolic horror. Also, there are just there are some games that are actually like, I'm not saying indie games, but they're like kind of one-off games that are really good at trying to scare people. With Cry of Fear, if you've ever heard of that game, Alex.
No.
You should really watch it, or you should try it out. It's actually based on mental problems.
Ooh.
Like the person that's
the main character.
Yeah, the main character that you see, like it's based off mental problems.
That's an interesting one to explore.
Yeah, and I think it's really interesting when you watch it or play it if you want to. Also, the game,
I'm not a huge fan of the horror movie genre, but I think I could enjoy the game genre. Like I was a fan of Alien Isolation.
Oh yeah, that's a different kind of.
It's like I like the thriller kind of.
Oh yeah,
scary moments.
I mean, that it's not jump scare, more so it's like trying to survive. Like I said, survival horror.
One of the first ones that kind of got me when I didn't realize it was a scene in Uncharted 2 when you went into the old German bunker to go look for the U-boat.
Yeah.
And all of these like
zombies.
Yeah, they were basically zombies where they run at you on all fours and stuff. Were super scary, and you actually had an MP40 trying to shoot them down, but get the harbor up and running.
Yeah.
And what? Oh, was this may have been no, this was the first game. Yeah. Okay, so this was the first Uncharted. And the whole gig was that the item that you were trying to get to, that everyone was trying to get to, was actually cursing people with whoever touched it or opened it.
Yeah.
And so what basically the Germans had found it forever ago, and they all got cursed. And then the people that invented the idol got cursed as well. And
so it's just kind of a hubris that everybody's had.
Yeah, and you kept bumping into the cursing. But it was super scary because it was narrow hallways, and you could hear them yelling off in the corners.
It gives off,
and you're just
claustrophobic.
Yeah, and you've got your gun and your flashlight, and you're looking for like anything that moves. Oh, you know what's a great game that does this? BioShock.
Oh yeah,
BioShock does an awesome job of like the thriller horror.
Well, the thing is with the first BioShock is like it gives a different tone in terms of like just running away from the big daddies or like trying to take them out. You know? Yeah,
that's its own scary. And BioShock Infinite had a great one when you're trying to fight the boss that's got the horns on the side of his head.
Yeah.
And you're walking through the mannequin, factory, and it's got all the animatrons that look like they're looking at you, and one's in, where it's just a head in a wheelchair and it rolls towards you, and you're like, oh my god. Ugh. Oh my god, I love the BioShock series. That's that may be some of my favorite video games.
Another game that really gives off this horror element that, I mean, it's disturbing in terms of imagery because of what happens. But Dead Space.
I have not played Dead Space.
Oh my god. I mean, I'm not saying it's like scary, but it definitely, the game is really hectic when it comes to throwing horror at you. Like whether it's more like body horror in a sense because of what people are turning into.
Like it's gory?
I would maybe, but like what people turn into because of what happened on the ship. It's disgusting in a sense. I'm not saying it's like, oh my god, I'm so scared of what happens, but it definitely gives off this gross feeling when you see what happens to those people.
What happens?
Well, their body changes entirely.
Ew.
Yeah, it's gross.
Puberty.
Just saying.
Sucking at this hand.
Oh, that's okay. Honestly, you're doing a fantastic job here. You basically got all of it down right here.
I need to do his face because these are both placeholders.
Oh, okay.
For the nose and the mouth.
Yeah. Well, we're almost done.
Yep.
It is almost over. And you really see the... And speaking of imagery, you really see the expression on... Was it not Adam's? It was John's face.
Yeah.
I don't know why I want to call it Adam. Call him Adam, I don't know. He just looks like an atom.
Kinda.
But, yeah, just... Horror in general, sometimes there are some times where it doesn't work, and then other times where it hits just right.
It can be fun, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, nobody really likes getting scared, but it happens.
Yeah.
God.
Okay, his mouth.
Also, another thing about music is that there are certain games that are just based off entirely of music. Remember, the Dance Dance Revolution series.
Yep, we've got hundreds of rhythm games.
Yes.
That are music specific.
Definitely, and then the ones that are trendy, like I said, like Friday Night Funkin', they're basically like Dance Dance Revolution. Rhythm games. And it's the reason why it's so catchy is because of how much the fandom took it off of Newgrounds and decided to make their own design of mods. So it just depends. But yeah, it's interesting to see that certain games are just based off of just playing music on as a rhythm. I think that's really cool because it shows to me and most of the people that listen to us as well is that music is such a big influence on our lives that it can be created into anything,
Oh yeah.
So and the thing is it doesn't even have to be a certain genre sometimes. It can be anything you want.
Yeah, it's just so whatever appeals to you. Mm-hmm. One game I've gotten one music game I've enjoyed a lot is whatever the drumming one that we've got at our arcade.
Oh. Yeah, and pinballs?
Yeah, I forgot what that one's called.
No, I understand.
One of these. It is super popular in Japan. It's it's a rhythm game where you have 2 drumsticks and 3 places to hit, 3 strike pads.
Yeah.
And you're just drumming along with the beat.
There's actually a Nintendo game that I used to play so much as a kid. It was called Elite Beat Agents, and it was on DS. That game was the bomb because there are so many songs that they played. It would be either old school or it would be kind of 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
But it had songs like ABC. It had what else? It had Skater Boy.
That's throwback.
Yeah. It had Make No Difference to Me by Sum 40. What else did it have? Yeah. And then it had, oh my god, the best one was probably, You're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration.
Oh.
Yeah. That song was so, in that game, that song was so important because a little girl was trying to have her father come home for Christmas, and like
That's what you were like doing.
yeah, like the thing is, the agents like they kind of like help people out with like bringing a pep to their step because they're down in their luck or something like that. So like when all things hit rock bottom, like every character is always like help, like they scream out help, and the main agent in charge sees like what's happened to them, and then they're like, and then he's like the main dude, the boss guy, he's like, agents are go, and then like sometimes he has like a different outfit on, or like there's something that atones to that is similar to like what kind of mission you're doing.
Yeah.
So there's that. And certain situations are funny. One of them is where a kid that's part of a car dealership company from his father, like he works with. He's trying. They're trying to compete with the competition, and the kid's kind of clumsy, and he kind of sold their blueprints for the newest car to them, and the dad's really furious, and if he doesn't do anything about it, he's fired.
Right.
So he put him in a ninja garb, and he's like, "Go out and find out what they're doing." And like at this point, the pressure's getting to him. So then he screams help, and then the agents come in from a helicopter to say like, "Hey, mission!" And they play a song to motivate the character. And at that time, when you play the game, it's actually a touch based. I'm not saying touch based rhythm game, but it's kind of like you touch the stylus onto the screen, and like you try to make the best
timing.
Yes, of timing. And it's really cool because, like I said, there are certain covers of certain songs. There's one with the pirate guy that does the YMCA song.
Oh my goodness!
And I really like that one too. There's one for September.
Do you remember?
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is, the mom is trying to make. She's a weather reporter. She's a weather reporter woman, and she promised her son that she would take him on a picnic for during the month.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, it was raining, and then she told a lie on television, even though she was supposed to say, "Oh, it's going to rain everywhere," you know.
Oh, and she didn't say it was going to rain.
Yeah.
So everyone had their day ruined.
But like she was like she wanted to make sure that the day was perfect for her son. So what she did is like she got herself in a bunch of like animals and like tried to make the sun appear. So it wouldn't be stormy. And meanwhile, like this, the song September is like playing. Do you remember the 21st of September? Just stuff like that is really cool. Like I really like that song. What else was there? There's Material Girl. Canned Heat was probably my favorite, and that's the one with the ninja. That one's my favorite. Mm. And then there's one where the anthem. The anthem is like, yo, don't wanna be just like you. Don't wanna sing it. This is the anthem. Throw all your hands up, yo.
I don't recognize that one.
But that one's on a baseball player called Hulk. And he was just kind of like striking out and stuff, and his career was just kind of going down the drain. So I'm not saying he retires, but he takes a break and he goes is a part of a carnival or kind of the amusement park And actually, no, he kind of retires at that point. But then like a giant, and then like something batshit insane happens, like some kind of giant volcanic rock golem monster tries to eat a fan. Where this kid is like a really big fan of Hulk, even though like he retired.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hulk's like has to stop the rock monster from eating the kid. Honestly, you should give it a try though. I think that game is so interesting.
That does sound like a fun one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm making you carry on the conversation by yourself.
No, that's cool.
I got sucked into this thing.
Oh no, don't worry about me, man. Like I love talking about stuff like this. And then
some of those rhythm games are really impressive. I know there's one like on the PSP or something where it's like it's got like a bunch of Vocaloid music on it.
Oh yes.
And it's like it's the X square, circle, and triangle, and then you have to hold them in certain directions and stuff, and it looks super difficult.
I mean, it shouldn't be too difficult to a point where you can't do it, but
I don't know. Some of those look pretty hard.
I'm pretty sure you could. I see you're doing a background for it.
Yeah, the way that they did the mountain was just with a crosshatch.
I mean, hey,
that looked really nice.
That's good enough for me, though. But it's not supposed to be for you.
Trying to see how hatching can be duplicated with Blender.
Hey, that's fun. It seems like you're done with the two people.
Yeah, they're pretty much drawn. I mean, I could spend another hour on the hands, but that's not worth.
I mean, hey, like I said, it's good enough right here.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you've been drawing for like 2 hours. You've been drawing for 2 hours and 30 minutes, dude.
Jeez, have I?
Yeah, you have. Look at our time right now. But yeah, this looks really nice though.
Boom.
Bam.
Wow. Oh my God, that was 2.5 hours. No wonder my hand.
You're starting to feel it now.
No wonder my hand hurts so much.
So.
All right. Well, here we go. We've got kind of a scene for Disgusted and Ill, Lilo and Stitch, where Nani's looking pretty disgustedly at Stitch, and then John Henry falling ill after he crashed through an entire mountain to get everyone to the promised land.
Good job, man. You did it, man. You fucking did it. 25 expressions.
I know.
Each one better than the last.
You think that's a pretty comprehensive
hell yes. And then you have
right
your special eye right there taking a look at it.
I do. I have the little tutorial eye over here on the side that I'm totally never going to finish.
But it's still good, man. Like I love it. I love all the detail that you went through from beginning to end, like in terms of just trying to finish this. Like it looks really nice like as you progress.
What a progress. Yeah, this is an impressive progression.
Yeah, you definitely should give yourself some kudos
from the flip to using reference drawings.
Definitely.
and then just spending twice the amount of time, and then spending 4 times the amount of time.
But honestly, the 4 amount of times drawings look so much more like detailed and interesting compared. I'm not saying like the other ones are bad, but I'm saying like ones that you put so much time into.
There's a lot to it. Like they both have multiple characters in them.
Yeah.
They're from perspectives that I have absolutely no experience drawing.
Right, but you still managed to make it out there. Make like Stitch and Nani into expressive. Like
now that I'm looking at that one came out really well. I'm actually happy.
Yeah, I like it. I'm telling you, man. You shouldn't beat yourself up.
It's
so good.
Because when you draw it, you're just kind of focused in on the last stroke that you made. You're not really looking at the whole picture.
Oh no, like
now I'm looking at it like, ooh, these are kind of nice.
Here's what I love about it. I love the detail of the hair, kind of like how you left the white parts in it.
Yeah,
because it looks like it looks glossy.
Yeah, it's got reflection coming off.
It's so good. I like it. And then your other one right here, you added a background along with. I mean, sure, the hands are fine. Like
they're not the focus of the thing.
Like you could see the facial expression in her feeling sad and like him giving it his all one last time.
Oh yeah.
It's really expressive. It shows.
First time trying to do chest muscles. I've never done chest muscles before.
Yeah, it's good.
They came out good.
Anyways, so
this has been a long one.
This has been a fucking anime arc for you guys.
What a real journey.
Yeah, seriously, a journey well spent.
And now I have to actually think about what I'm going to do next time. I can't just fall back on this.
Don't worry, man. I've got your back with the next content.
Well, we're both starting brand new things now.
Yeah. I mean, because Alex, like I said, he's done more drawing right here in terms of like just drawing people and like other things. I mean, meanwhile, with pixel art, it takes a little bit of time for me to draw just one person, but at the same time, I like to try to bring some kind of like colorful stuff to life. But I'm definitely, I probably will see.
We're gonna have to flex our a different set of drawing muscles next time.
Definitely. And I think I'm definitely up for the challenge next episode, guys. You'll definitely see what I have in store.
Looking forward to it for sure. That lineup at the bottom is
I know. It's
like, because I remember when we thought this set was good.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh man, we're really.
No. My favorite one was definitely the Flash. And then
it's hard to beat the Flash. He's pretty awesome looking.
It's
there.
so good though. The Flash one looks really good, and then I didn't mind the Incredulous one. Like I thought
the Incredulous one. That was a good one.
But then we started to get to the bottom 5, and it's just like it was so good.
It's like, all right, now we're gonna really dig into it.
And I saw such a good distinction when you drew Izuki.
Yep.
And it was
that was a bit of a launching point there.
I really loved it. It was so like good. It had so much expression. It had like the blushing part too. Just stuff that sets it apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then we finally get to these last 2 today, and
the
best of them all.
Uzuki had me try out some elements that I had not done before, and so for the next 2, I was like, all right, we're really gonna ham it up.
Right.
Definitely didn't stick to the theme of the actual exercise, because the whole point of it was originally designed to take one character and draw that same character in each expression.
But hey, I mean, you made it into a different challenge.
Wound up coming out with something pretty fun.
Yeah, and it definitely shows your creativity and how much you had to, I'm not saying deal with, but how much you effort you put into like making each character an expressive kind,
Yeah. What a fun time.
Oh, definitely.
Thank y'all so much for joining us.
Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you're tuning in and you watched Alex like draw these 2 drawings, like no, I'm serious. I'm not joking.
I can't wait to like go back and look at it, because I remember like the initial sketches of these were absolutely horrible. But it's the same process that you've seen, especially when going through Shundi. It was very much the same process of just outlining features and then erasing and going back in and erasing and going back in and chipping away at detail. We had that new technique of having filler features, especially on the face, is super handy to get the rest of it mapped out and then going back in and finishing. Definitely, there's no shame in using the reference to initially set up the locates, because if I had to pick the sizes of these heads out of the gate, the rest of this would have been way out of proportion. So
yeah,
that's a good way just to get you started.
Yeah. Take a swig.
Drink myself under the table here. Holy crap! Need a sting hand massage or something.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and see if tune in for some more drawing stuff that we're having. Because next episode is going to be my turn, and I guarantee it's going to be good.
The hype is real.
Yeah, I know.
I'll see y'all next time.
See you guys.
Bye.